To our global CTKS family, we're grateful that you're here. All of us together make this one of the best communities on YouTube. Here, we use the world's leading indicator of price, the CTKS method, to give us X-ray vision across stocks, cryptos, forex, commodities, and yields. So we can see what the top 1% in financial markets see before the move happens. That's a license to print money and a way to stay safe. Whilst others are panicked, we are calm. When others guess, we stack probabilities. We don't fall for hype or stories, we profit from reality. We know making just 3.5% per week is a 498% profit per year. We are the elite 1% in financial markets. Price moves in waves, so no matter if price is going up or down, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be dedicated and committed, and never blame. Instead, learn and grow into the best version of yourself. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Let's have a look at what's been happening inside the markets in the past 24 hours. We can see that we've got a fairly significant sell-off across total crypto market cap. Now, why did we get all of this panic? And the monthly members inside the service know exactly what I'm talking about. You can see that there's unfortunately a bit of a panic zone in here. And when we get negative CTKS zones, what it just tells us is people, if we lose structural support, we're going to see very concentrated negative action until we come into lower levels of structural support. This is why it's very important to know where the structure is. If you're getting these decreases in price, knowing where the structure is absolutely vital. Just like in life, we have to embrace the reality of life, and we need to do that inside markets as well. With the government shutdown coming to an end, hopefully, when we get into these panic zones, it's really important to prepare yourself for negative price momentum, to also prepare for positive price momentum as well. This is the problem with panic zones. People literally don't know if it's going up or it's going down. That's why we need to keep a really close eye on structural passes and structural failures. Also, please keep an eye on where the structure is. If we've got a lot of structure below, we know the price is going to come in there and interact with it. Inside the Profiting Masterclass, I explain how to read through charts, and Bitcoin and total crypto market cap need to be read together. For example, when the entire crypto market cap came up to this point, it sold down significantly, and then we know it's come into structure. But what about the structure on Bitcoin? Okay, let's look at the monthly indicator from the service. What we can see here, originally at that 107,200 mark, Bitcoin rejected that structure, and that immediately created the structural target at that 103,700. But because this was effectively a negative CTKS gap, and if you're inside the service, please make sure you watch the monthly masterclass on interpreting everything across the cheat sheet. We can see that we did a structural overshoot into this structural support. When we bounced up, we found total crypto market cap resistance and we sold down. Now we've got two levels and two charts which have got a lot of structure now, both Bitcoin and also total crypto market cap. Remember, certainty is a lie. We must abandon stories and just embrace the reality of the market. That's the highest level that you can get to. And for example, if we look at XRP, we know total crypto market cap was at structural overhead resistance and it failed. And look at XRP, how it's mirrored that movement. When you understand how to read across charts, it's an absolute game changer. That's inside the Profiting Masterclass. When looking at Solana, we can see a very similar action. So you can see how important it is to look at total crypto market cap and Bitcoin together. For example, Solana came up to that 160, 161 level, and as total crypto market cap failed, it pulled all the risk on sentiment out of the crypto market, including Bitcoin. And we've seen the total crypto market cap and also Bitcoin has a lot of support down here. And if we look inside the structure of Solana from a structural perspective, level 1 and level 2 standard certification, we can see literally at the 160 level, it was a key level. Solana didn't effectively get across there. It tried, it failed, it tried, it failed, and the entire crypto market failed at Solana's 160 level. It's not Solana causing the entire crypto market to fail, well, unless you're a Solana investor, in which case that's a good story. It's just the interdependence and intercorrelation of charts. Now we're seeing a degree of structure inside total crypto market cap come in and support Solana. You can see how important it is to read between the charts. And when we look recently at that 170 level of Solana, that was so extreme, so many sellers up here, that was going to be hard to break through. Just embrace the structure of whatever chart that you're in, it will guide you. Understanding how structure works is really important because all price waves are structurally contained. So when we look at the S&P 500 from a structural level, we can see exactly where the structure is. Now we're seeing positive momentum inside the S&P 500 so far, but it must hold this 68.46 level. If it doesn't hold that, the 68.14 and the 68.02 become important. If it does hold that, the 68.70 becomes the next target. When we look through the news, we understand sentiment, but when we look at the charts, we understand reality. And the reality is, price is always just moving between CTKS structural levels. But we can also apply this back into your own life. There's a structure that exists inside your own life in terms of your own internal strength. You will find that you get into resistance because your strength needs to be greater. Now, when I mean greater, I mean to unlock all the beautiful things that life has to offer. Life is never against you. What happens to us for our benefit, but it often doesn't feel like that at all. The markets have been really brutal recently, and if you're going through a life pullback, please know that the sun will come out again. You're gaining strength for the next life rally, and this strength and these pullbacks are just part of life. So it's important to understand it will pass. Rule 219 is a particularly good one. Be kind to yourself. Kindness is an absolute necessity in this day and age, especially to yourself. Unfortunately, we're living in an increasingly unkind world. More and more people are living inside Zone 1 and Zone 2. These are the negative excellence zones. Zone 3 and Zone 4 are where we start to move into a thing called positive excellence. Moving away from certainty is really important. If you feel like the market must give you certainty, we know the price is already moving in a wave. Moving in a wave means it's always up and down. There is no certainty when price moves like this. But yet, people are told certainty exists. It is a lie. And it's not required either. All we need are lots of rules and an understanding of structure and probability and patience. Unfortunately, most people treat the markets as a gamble, kind of like going to the casino. But unfortunately, we cannot win with that kind of thinking. It's very important to just learn how the markets actually work. But most importantly, most people want money because they want to feel good about their lives. You can feel good about your life instantly, today. How do we do that? We can embrace a thing called positive excellence. This is the secret to sustainable fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. With integrity, loyalty, and decency. With inner peace and outer peace, we can be kind to ourselves and kind to others. Unfortunately, society teaches us to get into conflict with ourselves and others. The whole area of marketing is the area of literally, unfortunately, self-rejection. You're simply not good enough as you are. But actually you are. If you look at social media, you would be just trapped in a cycle of looking at other people's highlight reels. Gratitude would be very, very far away, as would be happiness. Inner and outer peace, they wouldn't exist. Why? Because you would be stuck in comparison, stuck in scarcity. Saying no to all of this is really important, and kindness is the doorway. Kindness, and on World Kindness Day, it's really, really very appropriately timed. Kindness is the doorway to inner peace and outer peace. We do not have to struggle. We do not have to fight against other people. It is not weak to not fight. And what I'm talking about is not a physical fight, it's a psychological fight. For example, if you look at social media, you see so many people succeeding and you fail because the bar is set impossibly high, unrealistically high. Therefore, you can add to your own life pullbacks by saying, I'm just not where I should be. But what happens in these life pullbacks is very, very important. A lot of times when people get a life pullback, they blame. They look for external circumstances and they say, oh, it's this or that or something else. It's very important to look inside yourself and to embrace reality, because the reality of the situation is that you have something to learn. And life very lovingly is giving you the opportunity to learn that thing. And it doesn't feel loving at all when you get through a life pullback, but when you get to the other side of it, you say, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. But in order to do that, you have to let go of something that's holding you down, that is dragging you down. So therefore, this strength is the ability to let go. To let go of what? The things inside yourself that are just not working. And what is our life's purpose? Because we'll go through these pullbacks and rallies all the time throughout life. Our purpose, our destiny, is to spread kindness, empathy, and care. We can only do this if we're living through positive excellence. If we're living through scarcity, these words would make our skin crawl. You would say something like this, I'm not going to be kind to other people aren't kind to me. Why should I have empathy? Nobody cares about me. Why should I care about other people? Because no one cares for me. This is scarcity-based thinking. In order to be the change that you want to see in the world, you must be the change that you want. You have to do that internally. One of the best ways to do that is to share, to lift other people up. To do this, we must gain new ways of thinking. Positive excellence is a very powerful antidote to the problems that we experience in life, and Rule 847 is a particularly good one. Positive excellence increases personal wealth. Wealth and riches often get confused. If you think about life, you always want to feel better, to feel safer, to feel more confident about things. Now, how do we do that? It's by being, of course, in the first place, kind to yourself and kind to others, but then finding things to be grateful for. Ultimately, you want to live a happy life. We live a happy life not through inner conflict and outer conflict, but through inner peace and outer peace, by being happy. But happiness is an actual outcome of being grateful and also being kind. Often, it can feel life is out to get you and the markets are out to get you. Actually, life and the markets are the same. The markets are just trying to teach you to move away from the absolute wrong hood of certainty. Price is always moving in a wave, and certainty will create terror. It will create panic, it will create blame, and it will create losses. You don't need certainty, you need structure. Looking differently at life, as we come out of Zone 1 and Zone 2 into Zone 3, which is the patience and rule zones, We think about probability and rules. We think about waiting for the right market conditions. We think in terms of structural passes and structural failures. But the most important thing is to think about mastering fear and feeling worthy of all the good things in life. That's where positive excellence comes in. And you can go into positive excellence at any time. And always remember, life is giving you these pullbacks so you can let go of the things that don't work, that hold you back. And believe me, don't look outside yourself. It is always internal. We can all be better. If we blame, we look externally. If we look externally, we will continue to go through the life pullback until we stand and look at ourselves. And when we get into these situations, it's important to look really lovingly and kindly at yourself. Don't beat yourself up. That's already happened. Just say, what can I learn? How do I get stronger from what's happened to me? How can I be grateful for this pullback? Now that sounds really counterintuitive, but often what happens is when we go through a life pullback, we'll seek to just cover it up with all sorts of things. It could be food, it could be sex, it could be alcohol, you name it. It could be gambling. There's so many things that can cover up our sadness that we feel towards life. You don't actually want to cover it up because that just elongates or continues this down path. What you want to do is to let it all go, to look lovingly and kindly at yourself and say, what can I do to be the change I want in my life? And to just say to life, thank you for this lesson. I know that I will grow in strength and the next life rally will come up when I learn it. And when you learn it, that's exactly what will happen. Life is sending you a lesson, and it's not a malicious or harsh lesson. Life wants you to become stronger because you will reach higher and higher levels that you will need more and more strength at. You need to be able to withstand the success. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know our love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone, and the sun will come out again. And you might just like to try to find one thing to appreciate, one thing to be grateful for. When the storm clouds come, it can get really, really dark. But there is always light. There's always a silver lining. Sometimes you just have to hunt for it. Please let me know what's one thing in your life that you have gratitude and appreciation for. Sharing that could help other people. And we're all here to lift each other up. Okay, let's go through the cheat sheet. If you found a new knowledge gem or learnt something new, please share it in the comments. We are a community of abundance, not scarcity. If you're new, we would love for you to become part of our global family. All you need to do is smash like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and comment on what time it is now. Doing this shows that you are committed to forging a better life for yourself and the ones that you love. With financial literacy, you can become recession-proof. Trading and investing are lifelong professions. Tourists visit during bull markets only to get wiped out, but professionals stay no matter the market conditions because they know that making just 3% per week is a 365% return per year. We are the elite 1% in financial markets. You will create security and financial freedom in direct proportion to your willingness to learn and grow, and never blame. If you commit, your world will improve immediately. If you're going through a life pullback, our love and healing thoughts are with you. The sun will come out again. There is always hope. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Show gratitude and happiness, and you'll already feel richer today, and today is all we ever really have. Kate and I very much look forward to joining you again in the next video.